And a good Tuesday morning, television family. We have gathered once again around the warmth of our high-definition television sets for another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Tuesday, 10th day of September 2024. I'm Dan Kuntz, 64 degrees, a couple of high clouds out there. One more day of fairly warm temperatures. We'll be in the mid-80s today. And then the weather's going to change. It's going to change overnight tonight. We're going to see a complete turnaround tomorrow. Quite a bit of cloud cover, cooler than normal temperatures, maybe some much needed rain on Wednesday. Wednesday's definitely going to feel like autumn. Thursday as well, and we warm back up to the lower 80s by the time we get to the weekend. We hit 90 yesterday, officially up at Payne-Moore Memorial Airport. That's where the weather station is, because you got to put it someplace, I suppose. 90, that was a little bit warmer than we anticipated. I don't think we're going to see 90 anymore for the rest of the year. You can kiss 90 degrees goodbye, and for a lot of people, they're fine with that. We've had 11 consecutive days with our afternoon high above normal. Most of the time, 10 to 12 degrees above normal. Every day since August 30th has been above normal for our afternoon high. That's going to be true today, but not tomorrow. That streak will come to an end. Forecast coming up, busy day in the newsroom yesterday. Whew. Things were hopping. We got a lot of news in sports. Mike McDonald had his Monday press conference to talk about the Seahawks victory over the Denver Broncos. We'll have that preview. The Mariners, they had yesterday off. 18 games left now in the regular season. Big homestand now. They got the Padres coming into town, followed by the Rangers, followed by my Yankees. They still have a shot at the playoffs, but they got to start winning some games. And in the back half of the program, speaking of sports, Sean Cooperrider, the owner of the Wenatchee Bighorns, is in town, and we'd love to catch up with Sean. It's a treat for us to do that. We had a chance to visit with Sean last week at the W.B. Smith Gymnasium on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College, because that's going to be their new home for the upcoming season. They were playing up at the Chelan Community Gym. Now they're going to be down here in the Wenatchee Valley. Sean Cooperrider, owner of the Wenatchee Bighorns professional basketball team, will be my guest in the back half of the program. It's tour time. Here we go. By the way, the tours around the valley in north central Washington are free. We were going to charge, and then we were trying to figure out how we could get away with that. And quite frankly, we can't. Days are getting shorter. Sunrise this morning, 6:32. Sunset tonight, 7:22. We're losing about a little over 3 minutes of daylight a day, and that really starts to add up. I mean, over the course of a week, you're talking about 20 minutes, 22 minutes of daylight, less each day as we get closer and closer to the summer solstice. I mean, the summer solstice, the autumnal equinox. I don't know where I'm at. Why don't we head on up to the Butte, the Chelan Butte, and say good morning to the Waterville Plateau. There we go. That is the very tip top of the Chelan Butte. So we pan that camera to the left, and you would see Chelan and Lake Chelan and everything associated with that. But we have this moved basically to the southeast. So that's the Waterville Plateau that you're looking at the top of your screen. The Columbia River just out of view, about in the middle of your screen. That's from the Chelan Butte area. Billy Goat is always a spectacular view. That's why we like it so much. Yesterday at this time, it was really smoky. Don't have to worry about all that. Smoke's blown on out of here. It's at Yellowstone National Park right now, so things are very pleasant up in the Billy Goat area, high above Alta Lake. And speaking of a camera that's pretty high up there in elevation, that's how it works for the Sky-Fi system to work. Tower's got to be up there pretty good. The Bear Mountain camera is another example of that. We have a Sky-Fi tower way up on top of there looking over Lake Chelan. This is a good time to visit Lake Chelan because the weather is still nice. It's not too hot. And if you're not into a lot of crowds, there's not a lot of crowds. Good morning to Lake Chelan from high atop Bear Mountain. It was a little breezy yesterday. It's going to be a little breezy today, too. In the Wenatchee Valley, the Waterville Plateau, and out in the Columbia Basin. Sustained winds, not too bad, about 10 miles an hour, but every once in a while we'll see a gust pushing up to 20 in the Wenatchee Valley. A little bit stronger wind gusts up in the Waterville Plateau, so heads up on that. And most of the wind will be relegated to the afternoon and evening hours as this large low pressure system begins to move into our area, and it's going to start doing that later on this afternoon and into the evening hours, and that means a chance of rain tomorrow, and boy, could we use it. Now, not a big chance of rain. It would be light rain if we get any at all, even moderate rain in some locations. So how much rain? Not much, but we'll take whatever we can get. We're not going to be, we're not going to be greedy when it comes to the rain. We have about a 50% chance of rain on Wednesday, just not a lot of it, but we'll take it. It's also going to be a lot cooler Wednesday as the marine air comes in. It'll be below normal Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday right back to what we've had for the last 2.5 weeks or so. From the National Weather Service, it looks something like this. Lots of sunshine. Again, afternoon winds as the cold front begins to roll in. 85 for our afternoon high, and that might be the end of the 85-degree mark for that matter. We're not going to hit 90 anymore. I just don't think it's a possibility with the shorter days. 56 for the overnight low tonight. Wednesday is going to feel like autumn. Cloud cover for the most part. Chance of rain in the afternoon hours, more like light rain if we get any at all, but there's a 50% chance of it, so we'll take it. And we're only going to get to 72, so the big cool down on Wednesday. A little chilly on Wednesday night, 53 for the overnight low. Chillier even more on the Thursday night overnight low, but we're back to sunshine. Very little wind. In fact, pretty benign, all things considered. Once we get to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the nights will be cool. The days will be crisp as September becomes mid-September by the end of this week. A month is already flying by. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll let you know what made news and is making news around Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington. That's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from your very own pool and spa. Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for this summer. Call today to schedule a free consultation for a custom San Juan fiberglass pool. And let the experts at Blue Lagoon handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your boring backyard into vacation paradise this summer with industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa.
Riley Gaines, the All-American female swimmer at the University of Kentucky, is our guest speaker for the Chelan County Republican Lincoln Day Dinner and Fundraiser, September 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Riley's call to action is to defend and protect America's daughters from competing with and sharing locker rooms with biological men. Join us for an exciting evening with Riley Gaines and support our local candidates. VIP event at 5, dinner at 6. Go to Chelan County Lincoln Day at gmail.com for tickets.
Paid for by the Chelan County Republican Central Committee.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
I have a question. Are you paying over $170 to $230 for your Medigap supplement? At Springwater Insurance, we search all Medicare plans available in our state. We don't work for any insurance companies, we work for you. And the insurance companies pay us to teach you. Now, our clients are paying as low as $137 per month for their Medicare plans. So call right now for a free phone quote. It takes about a minute. Call us at 509-888-2600.
A few clouds hanging around. Outside of that, quite a bit of sunshine. Very pleasant morning at 64 degrees, mid-80s today with some afternoon winds. The cold front really rolls in. Tonight we'll have quite a bit of cloud cover, some light rain, and much cooler temperatures on Wednesday. That would be tomorrow. It's 9 minutes after the hour. A member of the Chelan-Douglas Board of Health is on video. It was an encounter with a Wenatchee YouTuber allegedly grabbing the man's equipment and causing it to be damaged. Back on August 5th, Health Board member Bill Sullivan was captured on video by Heath Poitra. Heath Poitra frequently records videos around North Central Washington under the YouTube name El Dope Dog. The video appears to show Sullivan pulling into the Anytime Fitness parking lot on North Wenatchee Avenue and then confronting Poitra on the sidewalk. Now, Poitra says Sullivan grabbed his video equipment and caused his camera to fall to the sidewalk, cracking the screen. Sullivan was appointed to the two-county health board in 2022 by the Chelan-Douglas County Commissioners. He told us yesterday that he will not comment unless we met certain conditions, which he then refused to disclose what those conditions were to anybody other than the station's management. By the way, Wenatchee Police Chief Edgar Reinfeld says the incident between Sullivan and Poitra was not reported to his agency as a crime. A 3-alarm brush fire in the Nahum Canyon area north of Kashmir now has a fire line surrounding the fire. Evacuation levels are back down to level 1, but it was a little nerve-wracking for a while, as you might imagine. The Winnie fire originated with a structure fire along Winnie Lane and Nahum Canyon Road about 9:30 yesterday morning. It spread to brush and dry timber, and then evacuation notices at one point went to level 2, urging residents to get ready to flee while multiple local fire agencies work to get a handle on the blaze. Nahum Canyon Road itself was closed to all but local traffic. Starting at the 8600 block, the fire's size was estimated at about 10 acres because a lot of people who live up Nahum Canyon own large animals. Telecom Riders in Kashmir opened its grounds to help house any livestock being trucked to safety. Again, there's now a fire line surrounding that fire. A man previously convicted of burglary and theft is suspected of breaking into a rural Moses Lake home and stealing firearms. 39-year-old T.J. Ray Beatty was arrested by Grant County Sheriff's deputies on Friday after allegedly cutting a window screen to enter a home in the 8000 block of Cochran Road and then getting away with a case holding 2 rifles. Police caught wind of the break-in when a neighbor on Circle Place Northeast spotted a man stashing a rifle case in the shrubbery across the street from her home. Deputies later caught up to Beatty on foot on Airway Drive Northeast and said he matches a suspect seen in the surveillance video. Beatty has 17 prior felony convictions, most recently for possession of stolen property, first-degree theft, residential burglary, and attempting to elude police. Chelan County could soon make it illegal for motorists to cut across parking lots in order to avoid red lights at county intersections. A proposed ordinance on what's called intersection avoidance will have a public hearing on September 23rd before the Chelan County Board of Commissioners. The new wrinkle in county code will make it an infraction to intentionally navigate around an intersection using parking lots, vacant lots, or other private property. Deputy Prosecutor Sean Lewis told commissioners on Monday that only 4 other jurisdictions in our state have adopted such a law.
So this came out through the Sheriff's Department, actually, and so it was proposed because apparently a lot of people are causing commotion and safety issues bypassing intersections at certain places, especially during rush hours and other time periods where high traffic congestion takes place. And so they're seeking to alleviate that a little bit through some sort of control.
And what looks like wood on the home of Bill and Kay Larson isn't wood at all. It's actually non-combustible material. Back in 2015, the Larsons lost their home during the Sleepy Hollow wildfire, and it devastated, of course, the Broadview community on the west side of Wenatchee. And the couple has since rebuilt their home to be wildfire resilient. The Larsons and other Broadview residents have incorporated techniques from the National FireWise USA program, and they're now a recognized FireWise community. The Larson home has vents that prevent ember penetration, and their yard has lots of rocks and concrete, but no juniper bushes or arborvitae plants because they're not good. Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz and the Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett paid the Larsons a visit last Friday, and the group spoke to us about how wildfire response has changed for their community.
We didn't pay a whole lot of attention to fire-resistant vegetation and plants and landscaping. And so again, over the period of several years, I think we, as a whole in the community, became a bit complacent and just didn't really think that it was ever going to happen to us. We're in the city limits here. And all of that changed on June 28th of 2015. Probably the worst conditions possible all came together at once. And the fire was known as the Sleepy Hollow Fire. And so we evacuated and spent the night with friends. And when we came back the next day, of course, there was I think a total of 28 homes that were totally destroyed in that in this development. A number of other homes that sustained some damage, but it literally looked like a war zone. And so the next step is, well, how do you deal with that? And we weren't alone. We found that those that had lost their homes and those that hadn't lost their homes were all trying to come to terms with how did this happen.
FireWise program has been around forever. It's a national program. It's been utilized we felt a need at the Department of Natural Resources of being part of the solution and bringing resources to help communities that have high wildfire risk to create that defensible space, and launched a program, Wildfire Ready Neighbors, that is now in 13 counties, that is a partnership again with the local fire district, with conservation districts, with homeowners associations and neighborhoods, to truly try to get every single county that has a high risk of wildfire, to get every homeowner, neighborhood more resilient to fire. Because not only will that save homes and save lives, but it also is so much safer for our firefighters when they can come into a community and that home has largely been already built that defensible space for them.
This whole community has embraced the fire adapted community concepts, which are social, built, response, and recovery. The Broadview community especially has socially become aware since that tragic event and has taken measures on awareness and become a FireWise community. They've taken the built environment standards when they rebuilt and hardened their homes. The fire department has worked diligently on our strategy and tactics to response to the incidents in partnership with the DNR. And then the restoration and recovery after the incident, we're going to replant this whole area with fire adapted plant species to make it more resilient.
On July 5th, the balsam root fire, when we saw it approaching, and of course we see the response, there was a point to where Kay and I early on said, okay, we feel pretty safe, but let's go ahead and take those non-replaceable items, to kind of pack up until we need to go. Although we had a really high level of confidence. And at one point very early on, I walked to the edge of the property and I looked out, and we had a ladder truck over here shooting an enormous amount of water out into the ravine. We had firefighters stretching a hose off across my back lawn out there doing this. Neighbor had the same thing. And so I called Kay out, and we stood at the edge of the property watching the fire, and I said, look at this. This is so different, night and day from 9 years ago. And the response, it's like, yeah, the fire's going to come close, but we're protected because of everything that had happened and all the support. And not just the local, it goes back to Commissioner Franz and the level of support that we get at the state level.
And that's what's making news on this Tuesday morning. And we'll have the news for you again tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If you consume your television news, not on TV, then traditional sense, for instance, the web, we got you covered there too. Our newscast will be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We have an app, we have an X, we have an Instagram. Not real sure how all those things work, but that's not my cross to bear. And if you have a news tip for us, let us know. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Sports, Mariners didn't lose yesterday. Of course, they didn't play, but a big homestand as they try to make a push for the playoffs. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCW Life app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCW Life app now.
My name's Nick Dirk, and I've been a cinematographer-photographer for over 10 years. I got my start at the Wenatchee Valley Technical Skills Center. Without the Tech Center, I wouldn't have got my first job in media production 3 months after I graduated high school.
My name is Charlie Voris, and I own Vortex Productions. My work has taken me on exciting adventures all around the world, and I got my start at Wenatchee Valley Tech.
Hey, my name is Oli Mingo, and I'm the Executive Director at Heirloom Creatives in Wenatchee. I am so thankful for Wenatchee Valley Tech to be able to have my dream career.
If your chair is comfortable and still fits, don't toss it. Reupholster it at Wenatchee Upholstery. The sky is the limit. From new upholstery in your favorite car to upgrading your seats in the boats. Everything old can be new again when you call Joe. Personalize your golf cart, grandma's chair, your favorite bar stool. Trust your treasure with Wenatchee Upholstery.
Thank you for trusting Appy's legendary pizza for 60 years. Your hard-earned money supports hundreds of youth working at our parlors, dozens and dozens of nonprofits and school teams throughout the area. At Appy's, doing good in the neighborhood has never tasted so delicious. Can you smell it? It's not arugula and pear. It's bacon, bacon, and cheddar. Yep. Everybody's favorite pizza is back on sale this month at Abby's, loaded with 2 kinds of bacon and real cheddar cheese. Enjoy Abby's September special at a very special price.
Just about 21 minutes after the hour, there are 18 games left in the regular season for Major League Baseball, at least for the Mariners, and they are still on the outside looking in at a playoff berth. Seattle is 73-71. That's 4.5 games behind the Astros in the AL West. They are 3 games behind the Red Hot Twins for the 3rd and final wild card slot. And the Mariners, the Red Sox, and the Tigers all have identical records. They're all chasing Minnesota. The Mariners open a 2-game series tonight at home against the Padres, with the Rangers and then the Yankees coming to town later on this week. The Astros open a 3-game series at home today against the A's. Seattle will send George Kirby to the mound. The first pitch is set for 6:40. Monday in Major League Baseball, pretty quiet. Only 1 game in the American League West, and the Angels beat the Twins. The final there was 6-2. Back to the Pacific Northwest, the Seattle Seahawks went to the running game, of course, in the second half of Sunday's 26-20 victory over the Broncos after giving up 2 sacks and a safety in the first half. Coach Mike McDonald said the offensive line improved greatly in the second half, despite losing George Fant to an injury.
Well, there's room for improvement. I mean, you can't. There's no one's going to turn the tape on in the first half and be excited about what they saw. But to their credit, they kept plugging away, and I thought the second half the guys played well together. There's a couple of plays you want back, but on the whole, I thought the second half was a great job of those guys responding and coming back and playing some good football.
McDonald said calling the defensive schemes during the game and being in charge of the whole team is a learning experience.
It happens fast. You know, like you owe it to your defense to stay present while the defense is up, because you have to call a game like a defensive coordinator. But once you're out of that, you gotta click that switch fast. And so I'll be better in some of those situations moving forward now that I'm aware of it. But it happens fast. But again, you owe it to the football team to be able to click that switch and get back to being a head coach.
Seahawks take on the Patriots in Foxborough, Massachusetts, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on CBS. All right, to the prep soccer schedule in Big 9 action today. East Valley from Yakima travels up to take on the Panthers at Leib-Off the field at the Apple Bowl. They'll get going at 6 o'clock. The other big school, Eastmont, will host Ephrata at Wildcat Stadium at 7 o'clock. Other games on the pitch today, LaSalle will host Davis. Moses Lake will host Othello. Prosser travels to Sunnyside in Big 9 girls soccer. And Ellensburg will be at West Valley at 7 o'clock. For the smaller schools, Kashmir will take on Wahluke in Wahluke. At 4 o'clock, Brewster will play host to Tenasket. At 4:30, Liberty Bell welcomes Pateros to town at 4:30. Reardon will be at Okanagan at 4:30. I don't think they're going to play at Oklahoma. I wouldn't like their chances there. Omak is at Cascade at 6 o'clock, and Deer Park at Quincy at 6 o'clock. Can't forget about volleyball. Don't forget the ball's not supposed to hit the court. Eastmont will be at Ephrata at 6 o'clock tonight, as West Valley at Ellensburg also at 6 o'clock. Omak at Quincy. They'll get going at 6 o'clock. Othello will be at Moses Lake at 7 p.m. in girls volleyball. Wilson Creek will welcome Lake Roosevelt at 6. And the 6:30 matchups, Pateros at Liberty Bell, Bridgeport at Antioch, Okanagan and Manson, and Brewster will take on Tenasket. And those are just some of the games that people are playing or scheduled to play. Anyway, before we get to the obscure holiday, I want to wish a happy Teachers' Day in China. It's Teachers' Day in China today, and it's also Children's Day in Honduras. For you people watching the show in China or Honduras, I didn't forget about you. But today is National TV Dinner Day. Today, they don't even use the term anymore, but I think if you say TV dinner and you look at those, I wonder if any of those TV dinners, if they're still frozen or edible. Today is National TV Dinner Day. Of course, Clarence Birdseye came up with the idea, the machine that could revolutionize food storage. Dehydrate it, freeze it, and you can reheat it after it has a long, long shelf life. But how frozen dinners came to be is a fascinating story. Jerry Thomas was a salesman for the Swanson Company. And after one Thanksgiving back in the day, Swanson had 260 tons of leftover frozen turkeys, and they were stored in 10 refrigerated rail cars. And since the train's refrigeration only worked while the cars were in motion, Swanson had to have the trains just travel around. They traveled back and forth from the Swanson headquarters in Nebraska to the East Coast while the executives at Swanson figured out what the hell are we going to do with 260 tons of frozen turkeys that people didn't buy. And Jerry Thomas said, here's an idea. Why don't we package it with stuffing and sweet potatoes in 3 little trays, cover it with foil, and people can cook it in their own ovens, and the TV dinner was born. I hope he got a raise for that. The first TV dinner ever had turkey, sweet potatoes, cornbread dressing, and peas. It sold for 98 cents. TV dinners originally in aluminum trays that had to be heated in the oven for at least like a half an hour. You can still do that if you want. Microwave-safe TV dinner trays made their debut in 1986. Took a lot of experimenting for that to work. In 1960, dessert was added to the menu. It was either cobbler or a brownie. And in 1973, Swanson introduced the Hungry Man meals. How do you handle a hungry man? The Manhandler meals. That's TV dinners that had larger portions for you people who just can't get enough of a regular TV dinner. Today is National TV Dinner Day, always celebrated on September 10th by congressional proclamation. It's 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, 178 years ago today, there it is, Elias Howe is granted a patent for the sewing machine. The sewing machine had existed before 1846. When Elias Howe was granted a patent for his sewing machine, they had been around, but his sewing machine contained the 3 essential features that's common to almost every sewing machine since then: a needle with the eye at the point, a shuttle operating beneath the cloth to form the lock stitch, and an automatic feed. Way to go, Elias Howe. And then, of course, all of these people, Isaac Singer and Walter Hunt, started making sewing machines with Mr. Howe's patent without actually paying for them. Elias Howe had to go to court. They were in court for 5 years, from 1849 to 1854. Because Isaac Singer and Walter Hunt were stealing his patent and not paying him for it, he won the dispute, got millions of dollars in royalties from Isaac Singer. He didn't live long enough to enjoy it. But it's hard to believe, but the basic mechanics of the modern sewing machine is still in existence today. I guess if it works, why change it 178 years ago today? The 1918 World Series started early. We were now in World War I. The United States was, and so whoever was leading on Labor Day on each league would be going on to the World Series. They did not play regular season baseball in 1918, so they were already into the World Series on this date in 1918. And just before Game 3, 106 years ago, players on both sides of the World Series, the National League pennant winners, the Chicago Cubs, and the Boston Red Sox, winners of the American League pennant, they demanded to be guaranteed to get paid $2,500 to the winners and $1,000 to the losers, or they wouldn't play. Of course, they get their bonuses, their World Series bonuses and their postseason bonuses from attendance in the World Series. They said, we want to be guaranteed our money. The rest of the baseball world and the rest of the world said, you're real greedy. I mean, there's guys, your countrymen are off in France dying, and you want to be paid to play baseball. There were no fines, but believe it or not, after the World Series was over, no World Series rings were handed out that year. The Red Sox beat the Cubs. It was one of the few World Series where the winners didn't get anything. They just got their regular salary. I was on this date 106 years ago today. And 23 years ago today, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It was huge back in the day in the early 2000s. On the British version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Charles Ingram gets all the way to the top. He's going for the £1 million prize, and here's how it played out.
I'm going to play Google. Yeah. Final answer. Final answer. Please don't go for a break. Please do not go for a break. Please don't. You're going to go for a break.
I'm going for a break.
Oh, God.
This is turning into an epic night. Join us again for the third part of tonight's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Do not go away. Welcome back to the third nail-biting part of tonight's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Major Charles Ingram came on tonight with just £4,000. He only had one lifeline left. He got up to £500,000. He got this question. A number one, followed by 100 zeros, is known by what name? Google, Megatron, Gigabit, Nanomole. He initially went for Nanomole. He then went through his various options again. He knew he would lose £468,000 if he was wrong. He then went for Google, mainly because he'd never heard of it and he'd heard of the other three. Charles, give me that check. £500,000. You no longer have that. You just won £1 million! Diana, come on down. Come on, my darling, come on. £1 million. Fantastic. What a night. Absolutely incredible.
Isn't that awesome? £1 million to Charles Ingram on this date. 23. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this. He cheated. Yeah, he cheated. He got caught. The producers, as soon as the show was done taping, the producers said, something's just not sitting right with us. So they didn't give him any money. They said, well, we'll get into this a little bit there, Chuck. And they looked into it, and they discovered he was cheating. He was getting hints from another contestant and his wife. They had a coughing code. He was eventually convicted of, well, cheating. He can get his money. But now you know what a 1 followed by 1,000 zeros means. Let's do some birthdays. The King. The King. Not necessarily the greatest golfer of all time, but certainly the most popular golfer of all time. He took golf from a snobby country club, I can play it but you can't sport, and he brought it to the masses. His personality, he's just a great guy. I had a chance to meet Arnold Palmer once, just a genuinely awesome guy. We lost Arnold Palmer, of course, a number of years ago at the age of 87. Arnold Palmer, born in the state in 1929, the King. Roger Maris, 3 times a world champion, the 1960 and 1961 American League MVP, 61 home runs in the American League in 1961. His record for most home runs in a single season lasted longer than Babe Ruth's did. And of course, his American League record was just broken a couple of years ago by Aaron Judge, the great Roger Maris, born in the state in 1934. And speaking of baseball legends, Randy Johnson, with all due respect to King Phillips, to King Felix Hernandez, Randy Johnson is, in fact, the greatest pitcher in Mariner franchise history. Won the pitching Triple Crown in 2002. He's second all-time in strikeouts behind only Nolan Ryan. He is the all-time strikeout leader among left-handers. He won the Cy Young Award 5 times. He pitched the perfect game, and he's in the Hall of Fame and on merit, I might add. Randy Johnson is 61 years old today. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, that would be Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Guess what? It's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to cool down tomorrow. Eventually, your air conditioner is going to become your heating system. Can they handle the transition? We get pretty cold winters around here. Before it's too late, give Alpine Air a call. Make sure they'll come out and give your little HVAC system the checkup it may need before the cold comes. Going to take a break. Mike Benitez got an opinion. Then we had a great visit with Sean Cooprider of the Wenatchee Bighorns. He's the owner. They have a new permanent home, the Wenatchee Valley College Gymnasium. They're bringing back some of the best players. They're bringing in a brand new coach. Things are happening. Good things are happening with the Wenatchee Bighorns Basketball Club. Sean Cooprider, the owner, will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's a trending hypothetical question for women. If you were alone in the woods, would you rather encounter a bear or a man who was a stranger? Evidently, many women have answered a bear. Now, this response is apparently a real surprise to many of us of the male gender, and also some men have taken offense of this response. Well, guys, let's face it. We have to ask ourselves, if women are saying they'd rather encounter a bear than a stranger man, why would women answer this way? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
What once was old now is new to the NCW Life channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCW Life channel, your local TV station. Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Welcome back to the program. The Wenatchee Bighorns have had a great offseason. They actually had a pretty good season, all things considered, in the TBL, and now it's all guns a-blazing for the upcoming season. Sean Cooprider is back. He is the principal owner of the ball club, heavily involved in the community, as is the Wenatchee Bighorns, and that's the first thing I want to touch on, Sean. When you and I got together late spring, I think it was, maybe even in the wintertime, that was something that you were going to be concentrating on more than anything else, making the Wenatchee Bighorns a part of the community.
Correct.
Of North Central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley. And have you accomplished that mission?
I think so. You know, we came in with the focus to make this more than just professional basketball, but really get involved in the community, provide some positive impact on youth, in particular underprivileged youth. Our vision really is, we use the basketball as a platform, but our vision is how do we impact the community from a positive standpoint through volunteering, through charity, through free clinics. So it's really, the entire program is encompassed by that vision.
And so far, so good. You took over. You decided to take more of a bigger role. You first came in, you oversaw everything and said, okay, we need to make a couple of changes here and there. You have made those changes. First and foremost, you brought in a really good coach in Matt Riley. I did my homework on this guy. How did you land him? This is a plum gig.
Yeah, Matthew's great. He's he's young, he's energetic. He's one of the youngest junior college coaches in the history of junior college coaching basketball. He has coached at Division I, Division II levels as an assistant. He's taken on another professional team and taken them to some good successes, all in the Southeast. He's got his master's. He's very highly intelligent. He wants to give back to his community. He's got his own community charitable foundation that he's set up that supports athletics in the Southeast. And most importantly, he's a leader. I mean, I met with several different people about this position, and what stood out to me was one question I asked him is, are you a coach or are you a leader? How do you see yourself? And he says, I'm definitely a leader. He said, yeah, coach is the X's and O's and how do you prepare a team, but his vision is much bigger than just that. He wants to take his players and elevate them, not only athletically, but as people, as a person. How do they get the best out of themselves? And that fits in perfectly with what we're trying to do here.
How did you find this guy? I mean, how did you just didn't? I mean, I didn't interview for the job. I mean, how'd you find him?
Well, I got on the phone, started calling all the people that I knew that had contacts with younger coaches. I had several mature coaches that had been around a while that had reached out and had heard of the program we were putting together and wanted to be involved. All of them were fantastic, but he really stood out because he just fit the profile. And so I made a few phone calls on him. We met, we talked, had several conversations on the phone, and in the end, he just was the right fit. So. And
what Sean is not mentioning is he wins basketball games, which is a nice thing to have on your resume. That's the one thing you can quantify. You can look that up.
Exactly.
Some things you can't look up, but that you can. You're bringing back Chris.
Yes.
Because he came in halfway through last year and just
Yeah.
He was like the missing. It was like a 4-piston engine running on 3, and then Mr. Cromartie came in. And was that a hard sell? Come back to Wenatchee, play for the Bighorns?
It's not. He's such a good person. I mean, he's never been to Washington, never been to Wenatchee, obviously. Loved it here. We loved him. The team loved him. He became our de facto leader on the floor and off the floor. He and I had several conversations after the season about what he wanted to do and what I was trying to do, and they meshed. And so he agreed to come back for another season. So he'll be our main leader on the floor, point guard. But he's going to take a more operational role as well. So he's going to be helping out Coach Riley on organizing and helping the team on a day-to-day basis get through what they need to do to be successful. Excuse me, dry mouth. So he and I have been on the phone several times. He's actually running a combine for me down in Atlanta, coming up at the end of this month, where we're going to invite in players from the Southeast, come in for 2 days, play in a combine against our players that we have under contract, and see if we can find some additional talent out there that we can add to the roster. So.
And homegrown talent, and that's important. It's very important to have homegrown talent, and Brandon Porter is back on the fold again.
Brandon is, yeah, he agreed to come back in, and he's just a really solid individual, and we love him. He's been very involved off season with us, helping us out with fairs and parades and charitable events and community events. We call him our player ambassador. And he's a good basketball player, very good basketball player. The team loves him. He just kind of gets people to mesh together. Very unselfish, but when he wants to play, he can bring it. So he's a very welcome person to have back on our roster for sure.
There's a reason we're recording this interview in the Smith Gymnasium on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College, because you guys got married. I'm trying to think of a better way to put it, but you were played up at the Chelan Community Gym, a cool gym with a really cool history of great basketball. Chelan is a hotbed for basketball at all levels. But this is closer to home. This is closer to where the population lives. And you and the college have got together, and this is going to work out real good for everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. And we look at it as a partnership. We're not just a tenant. We fully are going to be involved in the college community. We're going to sponsor internship programs with the college for kids that are interested in professional sports administration, game day operations, events, those types of things. We'll be working with the college to make sure that we coordinate them as resources to help us staff our games. We have set up a charitable foundation with the college that we're raising money to put into charity that benefits the students, not just the athletes, but the students of the college. So we fully intend to and look at this as a partnership. It's good for both sides. And it's a good place to call home. We're back. We're back. Being gone last year was tough, but with adversity comes opportunity, and opportunity presented itself, and here we are.
And despite the adversity, the Wenatchee Bighorns were a good team in the TBL last year. You had your ups and downs. We're really getting it together towards the end of the season, especially after Mr. Cromartie came on board. Still a good year. So you got to be feeling real confident about where this team is going for the upcoming basketball season.
Yeah, absolutely. We signed our core four, is what we call them. They're back. So we have Chris, we've got Tremont, we've got Pig Washington, and we got Brandon. So those are our core four from last year's squad that are back. We have two other roster spots that are going to get filled by two other players from last year. And then the rest we have under contract are from Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. And what you're going to see is a much higher level of talent that we're bringing in. Not that we didn't have it last year, because we did, but this year it's going to be kind of off the charts.
When do things really ramp up? Give me an idea of the season. Camp, scrimmages, where people can come and watch you guys practice and get ready to play. Walk me through the timeline between now and, what is it, March when the season kicks off?
Yeah, our official game season starts the first week of March, runs through first week of June. So that's when all of our games will be played. The team will start coming in the 1st of February into Wenatchee. We will then have a couple of days to get acquainted with each other. We're going to hold a combine that second week of February where we'll invite local talent to come and play. We'll evaluate them, invite them to tryouts. Once the team is tried out, fill all the roster spots, we officially start Bighorns season on the 15th of February. The players will be here in town practicing, getting ready for that first game. We don't have the official schedule out yet, but yeah, March 1st to June 1st is the time frame we'll be very active with players. So.
Are you glad you did what you did, coming back here to Wenatchee, where you were born and raised on the? You lived most of your early 20s right here on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. You came back to give the Bighorns a much-needed shot in the arm. No regrets? You happy you made the decision?
It's been so much fun. I mean, last year was tough. Last year was really, really difficult. But like I said, with adversity comes opportunity. And that team, I was so proud of. Every single one of them said this was the worst basketball experience we've ever had, but it's the one we'll remember forever. We're brothers. We made a family out of this. They did. They took adversity, a lot of adversity, and they turned it into an opportunity for themselves. I've got a couple of players that are playing overseas right now that are coming back. Tremont was just in the national championship game down in South Africa, and he's playing at a really high level, so he's coming back. All of them took that experience and said, we are better people now than we were before we got here.
And that was the whole deal. I mean, you know, winning basketball is great. It's like sugar in the ice cream, but you turn out good students and good citizens who are going to contribute to society as a whole just by being a part of the Wenatchee Bighorns family. You've done your job.
And that's all I can ask for. Yeah.
Sean Cooprider, it's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you
I
too.
love it when you come to town so we can get together and talk. They have a really cool website. Check it out and start getting into the, I know, say it's just March, February, March. Hey, it's never too early to talk about Wenatchee Bighorns basketball, and this will be their home come spring of 2025. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Pause for Pets is brought to you by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, Animal Care Manager, and today I have with me Solabino. And Solabino is our beautiful 6-year-old pointer, and he's a really beautiful example of a classic pointer, and he's just so sweet too. He's smart and he's sweet, and we love having him, but he needs a home. So he is our pet of the week. Solabino came to us as an owner surrender, unfortunately due to a change in living situation for the owner, but they did come to us, which is great. We've had him maybe 2 weeks now, and he is doing really nice, really well. He gets along really nice with our dogs here. We don't know about cats because his owner didn't have any. But overall, he's really just a sweet, gentle soul. He's quiet and he's pretty mellow. He is 6, so I think that contributes. but he's just a real sweetheart, real cuddly. He's still playful though. He loves balls and stuffed animals, and he knows tricks. Somebody taught him, or his owner taught him well. He can sit and stay. He's really good at stay. Yes, you are. And we're actually starting to teach him some new stuff, just for fun, to keep his mind active and interested, and he's picking it up so fast. Yeah, because you're a very smart boy. I think that he would be awesome, really, in any home, based on what we know, which isn't a lot, but we have gotten to know him, and I think that he would be good with kids, my personal opinion. I think he'd just be a really great family dog, relaxing on the porch in the summer with everybody, just taking treats and sniffing things, going out for walks and hikes. Yeah. So if you'd like to come meet our boy Solabino, we are open Thursday through Tuesday from 12:30 to 6, and we'd love for you to come meet him.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Pause for Pets is brought to you by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Here's your coffee. That'll be $5.
Thanks.
Oh, it's only $5.
Oh, I like paying double.
Why?
I've always paid more.
You wouldn't pay double for coffee. So don't pay double on your heating bill. Cut your heating bills by up to half when you switch to a heat pump or ductless mini split and get cash back from Chelan PUD plus federal tax credits. Learn more at chelanpud.org/save.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
It was 64 degrees when this show started. We dropped a couple. It's now 62 degrees here in the big city, but that happens this time of the year. Of course, the days are getting considerably shorter. We're losing over 3 minutes of daylight per day. Now, we went under the 13-hour mark over the weekend. Now we're at 12 hours and 49 minutes of daylight. Still going to be warm today. We're going to see 85. That could be the very end of our mid-80 temperatures, as for the first time in a long time, a cold front is going to pay us a visit, and by tomorrow, we could have some rain, especially tomorrow afternoon. It depends really on where you live. We have a 50% chance of precipitation on Wednesday as this large low-pressure system comes in to the Pacific Northwest. It's certainly going to cool us down quite a bit. We had 90 yesterday. We'll be mid-80s today. We'll be lower 70s on Wednesday. Definitely going to feel like autumn. Quite a bit of cloud cover. Whenever rain does come down in our broadcast area, it's going to be pretty light, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley. As you can see, the farther east you go or the farther north you go, the better chance you have of more rain lasting for a longer period of time. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, now the Columbia Basin, not a lot of rain, but we'll take whatever we can get because we are still way behind where we should be for our annual rainfall. From the National Weather Service, one more day of sunshine, although it's going to be a little breezy this afternoon. Sustained winds out of the northwest at about 10 miles an hour. Occasional gusts in Wenatchee at about 20 miles an hour. Waterville could see stronger winds than that, as they're prone to it. We'll get up to about 85. 56 for the overnight low tonight. Still windy as the clouds begin to roll in. You're going to wake up Wednesday to lots of clouds, and we're going to have clouds pretty much for the day today. Tomorrow, I should say. Few sun breaks, that's really about it. About a 50% chance of rain. If that comes, it would be in the afternoon hours. We'll top off at 72. 53 for the overnight low tonight. Thursday, sunshine, a little breezy, high of 78. By Friday, back to sunshine and warm and, well, mild conditions anyway. 80, 79, 76, 75. Keep in mind our normal high this time of the year is 79, so we are going to cool down. It's going to start feeling like autumn. And that's it for us. Have a good and safe Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow. Take care and bye-bye.